So we'll be discussing geometric means. So when we say geometric means, it's just the arithmetic means. But this time we will, instead of adding, diba, we will multiply each term by a common ratio. So how do we find the common ratio if we have an example like this? Or I mean the means, okay? How do you find the means if we given like this? Okay? So, paano sasagutin yan? It's just 1 and 81. Okay. Remember na may formula tayo na sa geometric sequence parang ganito. Ganyan. Okay. So, what is the value of an? Okay, isa-isa muna natin. An is the last term and our last term is 81. Okay. So, a1 is simply 1. Okay, since nasundan siya. But our r or our common ratio is wala. Okay. Since we have our last term, kaya nating mahanap si number of term. 81 corresponds to the 5th position. So, our n is 5. Okay. So, by this, kaya nating masolve to. Okay, so paano? Substitute the value. A and our last term is 81. It's equal to A1, which is 1, times the value of R, which is R lang. N minus 1, which is 5 minus 1. Okay, unahin natin si exponent. So, 1 times R. 1 times R is just R lang. Okay, so we can leave it like that. So, 5 minus 1 is 4. Diba? So, how can we get the value of R if we are given this? Okay, remember that if we have A equals B raised to C, in order to cancel or in order to isolate B, we need to cancel C. To cancel C, we get the root of C or the root of V corresponds to the exponent. If this is 4, then 4 siya. Okay. So, since this is C, i-kunin natin yung root cube C root. Okay. And sa kabila, same then. Okay, so example, we have 4 and we have B squared. Okay. If this is 2, then we get the square root. And kinuha yung square root, kukunin din yung square root dito. Okay. So, B squared. Cancel, and B. Okay. And square root of B, okay, is, square root of 4 is simply 2. So, B is equal to 2 in this type of ano. Pero paano dito? Okay. Since this is raised to 4, we need to get the root of R corresponding to 4. So, same here also. So, now we can cancel this. So, R is equal to this. Okay. We know na 81. Anong value? Anong multiple? What do you call this? Factor na 81. So, we draw a factor 3. Okay. 81. We know na 81 is 9 times 9. Diba? But 9 can be written as 3 times 3. So, same here. Since we have 4 3, we can write this as 3 raised to 4. So, 81 is also equal to 3 raised to 4. Okay, so instead of 81, we will write 3 raised to 4 to the root of 4. Since this is are the same, cancel and cancel. Okay, so we have now R is equal to what number? 3. So let's apply this to this sequence. So from first term to the second term, we times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. From second term to third term, we times 3 also. 3 times 3 is 9. From third term to fourth, times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. And indeed, 27 times 3 is 81. So, these are the geometric means. So, let's try another sample. Insert 3 means between 156 and 1. So you can pause the video if alam nyo na yung process. So insert 3 means between 256 and 1. So between 256 and 1, we will insert 3 means. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now we have 5 terms. 256 corresponds to first term and 1 corresponds to last term. Okay. So given this, we can write our value. A1 is equal to 256. An is equal to 1. Number of term corresponds to an, which is in the 5th position, so n equals to 5. And our ratio, common ratio, is unknown. Now, let's write our formula. Last term is equal to first term times common ratio raised to n minus 1. Okay? So, an is 1. Diba? It's equal to a1. That is 256. Okay? And r raised to 5 minus 1. Since n is equal to 5. Now, 1 is equal to 256 times r raised to 4. Okay? In order to isolate r raised to 4, we can divide both sides by what number? That is 256. Okay? So, divide both sides by what number? That is 256. Para ma-isolate si 3 raised to 4. And madali natin mahanap yung value ng r. So, divide. We can cancel this. So, r raised to 4 is 1 over 56. 256. Now, maghanap tayo ng value. Ay, hindi. Ganito muna. So, since this is 4, we will get the root to the 4th power. Same here. Okay, so we can cancel this now. So we will be left by r. Now, if we have a over b, and kinuha natin yung root niya by c value, it's just like getting the individual root. So a c b root of c. Paras lang yun na dalawa. So, sa term na to, kukunin din natin individual. So, cube, root of to the 4th power of 1 over root to the 4th power of 256. Okay? So, ano ang 4th value? I mean, root to the 4th power ng 1. Okay? So, if kunin yung root number, so yung b, ito, ang root, and this is 1. Ang value palagi is equal sa 1. Since 1 yung nasa loob. Anytime na ita-times natin si 1, sa sarili niya, ang lalabas palagi is 1. So, kahit ilagay natin dito sa b is, halimbawa, 1 million. 1 and 1 pa rin ang sagot. Okay? As long as sa loob ng radical sign, 1 lang nakalagay. Okay, since dito 1 nakalagay, so meaning 1 lang din ang ating numerator. Now, for root, fourth, root to the fourth power of 256, anong value? Okay, so, hanap tayo ng value ng 256 or multiple ng 256 na pag times natin 4 na beses, lalabas yung sarili niya. So, again, factor 3. Gagamit tayo ng factor 3. Okay, so, 256. Okay. So, anong pwede nating ilagay sa ano? That is, sabihin natin, 16, tapos 16. Okay? Because 16 times 16 is indeed 256. Diba? So, kunin natin yung value ng 16 ulit. That is 4. Since 4 times 4 is 16. And same sila. So, 4 din, or dalawang 4 din, yung sa baba ng 16. Now, pwede tayo mag-stop dito. Since napalabas na natin yung 4 na value na magkakaparehas, which is C4. So, we can write this as 4 raised to 4. Okay? So, okay? Can rewrite this as 4 raised to 4 and to the root of 4. So, since paras to, cancel. So, we will be left with 4. So, this is 1/4. Okay. And our common ratio is 1/4. So, apply natin ito dito. Okay. Now, from the 256 to, from the first term to the second term, we will multiply 1/4. It's just dividing 256 into 4. Okay? Since 1/4. So, okay, saan natin sulat to? Dito muna. So, 256 times 1/4. What is the common factor of 256 and 4? That is 4. Okay? So, 4 divided natin 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 256 divided by 4 is what? That is 64. Okay? So, 64 times 1 is 64. Disregard yung denominator since 1. So, 64 ang sagot natin. So, now, 64, from the second term, we move to the third term and we times 64 by 1/4. So, 64 divided by 4. Hindi, ganito na lang. Same process, 64 times 1/4. We have denominator of 1. So, common factor ng 64 and 4 is 4. Okay? So, 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 64 divided by 4 is 16. So, 16 times 1 is 16. So, our answer, or our third term, is 16. Now, 16 divided by 4 is simple. Okay? 16 divided by 4 is what? 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay? And 4 divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is what? That is 1. So, indeed, our common ratio is correct. And nakuha na natin yung geometric means. Okay, ilang minute pa? So, 1 minute na lang. So, hanggang dito na lang muna, di ba? Kasi 15 minutes lang talaga kaya nung YouTube channel ko. Di ko pa kasi yeah, sorry. Cringe ko tang. Yan. Yeah. Goodbye. Adios. Hehe.